Grab my hand, girls resting, met the bar, witness said, tears fled the head, I'm waiting, I guess she tweet, I guess she confess, she thinking less, not drinking less, bathroom says, best to get spontaneous, I stereotype, put to rest tonight, imagine, believe, and achieve, it works, Skyline as I rise like fireworks.
Hello everybody and welcome to this edition of After the Storm. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark, and the Thunder dropped another disappointing game that they had and, had the lead and just gave it away. And I wrote down my reasonings for the loss. The Thunder, of course, losing to the Jazz 119-120 in overtime. The Jazz are now 9-6 in one possession games. And this was our first overtime game since, I believe, the Pelicans at the beginning of the year, and of course we lost that one too. And the Thunder are now 28-30, and the Jazz are 30-31. Remember, over the next 8 games, if you watch my show, The Unpopular Hour, I talked about over the next 8 games, the Thunder have to go 6-8 or 6-2. No later than 5-3. Of course, tomorrow night we've got to fly. We've got to fly to Phoenix to play back to back, and this is a game that we let go. And I wrote down several reasons why we lost the game. One, it was 88-82 with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and I'm going, and the Thunder are struggling scoring, and I'm like, put SGA in the game. You're struggling. Josh is not being aggressive. He's trying to just totally passive. And going back to last year's Josh, or the beginning of this year's Josh. And if he's like that, we're not going to get anything done. But he didn't put him in, and he finally put him in at what? Let me see, where is it? He put him in, because I've got in here, sub for SGA is what I put. And, of course, he did not put him in, and he finally put him in. The score was 93-89 with 6:33 to go. 2 minutes too long. That's what my guy Mark Long calls him in the SRB. 2 minutes too long. My other friends call him Eminem Minutes Manager. And I said the only way we're going to be able to make the playoffs and go 12-13 is if we don't get held back by the coaching. He just doesn't, I don't know if he doesn't feel the runs, he doesn't feel the run is coming, which he did in the Portland game. When the run came, he stuck SGA in the game with 9 minutes to go, and we ended up winning. But tonight, in one of the most important games that we've got right now, you don't do that. You stick with your old ways, the way you've been doing things. Just frustrating. Second thing, he had the wrong lineup in the end of the game. You need your bigs in there. Jay Will was playing good, but for whatever reason, you decided to go small. We're too little. Two of the things that were a problem with the Thunder at the beginning of the year, right before the draft, we talked about it. We have to have a three-point shooters. We need three-point shooters, and we need rim protectors. And Utah has the rim protector, not shooting so much, but they have rim protector. They got 2 7-footers in there, or 6'11" and 7-footer. They just were killing us. When we needed rebounds, the big boys were just doing it because we were too small. You're 6'9", 6'10", or 6'8", 6'7", 6'9". You're not going to rebound over a 7-footer. You have to box him out. He can still reach over you. So that was a frustrating thing. And then Isaiah Joe getting his shot block at the end of regulation. You run it, everybody's expecting SGA to come out, and you throw it to Isaiah Joe. And then Isaiah Joe has a 7-footer on him, has Kessler on him, and instead of driving a step back and shooting a 3, he tries to go to the basket. Well, he does a reverse, but you don't get a shot blocked. He's not a creative. He's a shooter, not a scorer. Now, I believe if that ball would have went to J-Dub, then that would have been fine. I think J-Dub would have probably made a finish, if not dunked the ball, and probably got away with it, or at least got a foul. But that's not what you did. Then SGA missed a free throw. He was 15 for 19 tonight. And we're up 1 with, 20-something seconds left, and SGA misses another free throw. Misses another free throw. Killed us. Now we're only up 2. And then the last thing that happens, what happens? Dort fouls another guy shooting a 3. I just don't understand it, Lou Dort. He's trying to throw up a shot, and you're all up on him. Why? Just let him shoot. If he's gonna rush, why are you pressuring him? Why are you putting your body on him? Why? He cost us a couple of games like that early in the year, doing the same thing. Dude, you're supposed to be a defensive specialist. What the hell are you doing? Bodying up a guy shooting a fadeaway three-pointer. Why? I just don't get him. And then once again, the Thunder decides they're a three-point shooting team. Three-point shooting team. There they go again. Now, my keys to the game that I had put down today, if you were watching the Unpopular Hour, I said we have to get off to a good start in every quarter. That's a must for the Thunder if they're going to win. Second thing, we have to play within ourselves. Third thing we have to do is continue to move without the ball. In other words, don't stand on the damn three-point shooting, the three-point line and shoot. Move, we drive, attack the basket. They've got 7-footers you're attacking. Guy cutting, kick it off. The guy's already on his way back. He's moving back. You carry a straight shot to the lane. He's not going to block your shot. And then protect the paint, which we didn't do that either. But we have to get off to a good start in every quarter. And I'm more worried about the second and fourth quarters, like I've always said. Those are the quarters that worry me because it's who you have in the game. And Josh has to be the one that's aggressive because when he's not and he's passive like he was today, it just gets us in trouble. Playing within ourselves, we didn't do that. We're not a three-point shooting team. You got Dort launching threes. You got J-Dub launching threes. The only people making threes tonight were K-Rich or K-Will and J-Will. And Jay Will has been fantastic, and that's why I don't know why you don't have him in the ball game at the end. He's knocking down threes. He's doing everything. He's playing good defense. He's clogging the middle. I don't get it. I don't get it. And he breaks Kessler come out. I don't understand. I don't understand. And protecting the paint, we did not do that. So the end of the first quarter, this is what happened. The Thunder were very good in transition early. And you could tell that it was just something SGA was a little bit off there. He just wasn't really making the shots he normally would. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that Kessler was in there blocking the shot. He was hustling. He blocked a couple of shots. And once you get your shot blocked a couple of times, you kind of got your head on a swivel a little bit. He was more worried about that, which caused him to miss a couple of shots he normally wouldn't. But the Thunder decided we're three-point shooting threes. I've got in here too many three-point shots. We're 0 for 8. 0 for 8 in the first quarter. I just don't understand it. And then you substitute Robinson Earl for J. Will, and we were losing 9-17. We were down 13-17 when you all of a sudden you change and you end up in the first quarter with SGA, Isaiah Joe, Mann, K. Will, and Robinson Earl. And Robinson Earl is just off. He hasn't been the same since he got back. We're gonna have to have him because if he continues to play the way he has the last couple 3 games, you can't play him. You're gonna have to sit him. You can't play him. That's just a fact. But the Thunder were down by 2 at the end of the first quarter. Jazz were 3 for 12 from 3, 37%, 14 rebounds, 14 points in the paint, 2 turnovers. The Thunder 0 for 8, just launching threes. And I got my notes, too many threes. What are y'all doing? Shooting threes. 39%, 14 rebounds, 14 points in the paint, 3 turnovers. And bench scoring, Thunder outscored the Jazz 7-3. Now, part of my issue is, as a coaching staff, you know that we attack the paint is when we're moving without the ball, attacking the paint. That's when we're at our best. But when your team is starting to shoot threes, and there's no way in hell you don't feel that. I'm watching the game. I'm like, dude, get somebody. He did pull Dort because Dort came out, started getting aggressive, attacking the basket, shooting too much. No. Like I've said, you need a coach that puts him in his place. Dude, I need you to play defense and not foul a damn three-point shooter. But I need you to play defense. I don't need you trying to go to the basket and do a bunch of things, launching 30-foot threes. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. The Thunder are very good when they're shooting shots at the line, when we're in transition, we're in the flow of the game. Then we can knock down threes. But when you're just shooting threes all over the place, it's just frustrating. And especially when, you got guys going 0 for 3, 0 for 4, and we'll go over that here in a minute. So to start the second quarter, as we talked about, you've got to get off to a good start. So they start the second quarter with Josh, Saric, K. Will, J-Dub, and Isaiah Joe. Not a bad. I mean, not a bad lineup. I don't mind that. And then what do I have in my notes? Shooting threes again. Here we go. Here we go. And I talked about that earlier today on my show, The Unpopular Hour. The Thunder can't step back and shoot a bunch of threes. We're not going to beat teams doing that. We're not going to beat good teams shooting 37 threes. I've said it all year long. We shouldn't take more than 26 to 28, maybe 29, 30 max threes. Max. But we need to be at about 26, 27 threes. It's the maximum we should ever shoot. That's where I feel most comfortable. But when you came out today, it was like they just forgot what they were doing to win games. And that's exactly what it was. It was so frustrating to me. It's just hard. It's just hard to watch them. Uh, it's just so frustrating to me to watch what they're doing. It is really really hard. It's really hard. But anyway, we're down 30. We're up 37-35 with 5:16 to go. And then all of a sudden, you sub in everybody. And also, I got in here, we're missing way too many easy shots. And a lot of that has to do with Kessler being inside. You have a shot blocker. It weighs on you a little bit. So, but that's because we got guys who don't know how to finish. That's why. Anyway, 37-35, you got SGA Dort, J Will, Terrence Mann, or Trey Man, and J Dub. And then what do? With that defensive group right there, okay, you go on a 9-0 run to end the quarter to be at 55-46 with SGA Dort, J Will, uh, Terrence Mann, and J Dub. You're on a 9-0 run with that group right there. And Terrence Mann played a little bit today. I played good, better today, but I just want him to move in on his threes. I don't know why he has to shoot from 30 foot. And then today, he took a three and he was backing up. And I tell my kids, you always go forward on threes. You don't really good 3-point shooters are never fading back unless they're just showing off. The most of the time when they're standing there, nobody's in front of them, they're not fading back. They're coming forward on their shot. You shoot it and your body motion goes forward, not backwards. He was letting it go, just, drop, falling back. So I'm like, man, what are you doing? Hard to watch. This team's hard to watch. Fun to watch, but hard to watch. They are young, and it's just so hard, and that's why you need a better coach, and that's why I keep saying that. I mean, he was a nice guy for what we were needing at the time, but to get us to the next level, he is just not going to be it. And as long as if that's what Sam Presti wants to do, we're not going to get it done with him. It's just not going to happen. And he's living in a fantasy land. If he thinks that guy's going to get us to the next level, he's just not. The Jazz are down 46-45. The Thunder take a 9-point lead in the half. The Jazz are now 5 for 21 from three, 34% from the field, 26 rebounds, 22 pips, 9 turnovers. Oklahoma City, on the other hand, are now 3 of 18, so we were 3 for 10 the second quarter. 3 for 10 the second quarter. 30%. 39% from the field, 29 rebounds, 28 pips, 4 turnovers. And we got out of transition is the reason why we got those baskets and to go over that 9-0 run because of the defense that we were playing. Bench scoring, the Thunder are up 16-11 on bench scoring. But that being said, it was still kind of hard to watch what we were doing simply because we weren't playing within ourselves. We weren't doing the things that we needed to do to win games. Oh, boy. I tell you what, it's just sometimes I was wanting us to get that win we really needed, and I thought we were going to pull it off. But we're going to take a little break here. We want to thank our sponsors, Collaborative Logic, for them taking care of me, making sure that we're always up and running and everything's going fantastic. Appreciate everything that they do to make sure the show runs. Mark Long over at SRB, if you have engineering, surveying, or planning, he is the guy to talk to. Oak Grove Trucking and my guy, Jose Fierro. Appreciate everything that he does for us. And then Greg and Max Nafee supporting me and everything I do like they always have. But last but not least, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you go in and see Joe Horn, the Horn Man, or Carson Wright or Nathan Taylor. All of them would love for you to come in. They are our personal bank, and they prefer to have you come in so they can meet you face to face and get to know you. So that's kind of how they look at it and how they kind of prefer things to be done. So I suggest you go in and see them. And they have several different locations that you go in. You go into the main bank there at 401 Elm. They have a location right off I-40 and Garth Brooks Boulevard right there in front of the hospital. They have another location, of course, in Mustang, then one right there on US 66 and Yukon Parkway. So they have all those different locations that you can go in and check out. Any of those locations, by all means, go ahead and do that. And yep, so we'll see what happens with that. So anyway, in the third quarter, of course, we go with our normal starting lineup. And like I said, I like this lineup with SGA, Josh, Dort, J-Dub, and J-Well. I really like that starting lineup. So I've got it in, and then here we are. My notes were, don't settle for threes. That was my halftime thing, my key. Don't settle for threes. Stop shooting the threes. Continue to attack the basket and get back on defense because they did a good job of pushing the ball on us, catching us in transition on the defensive end. And then Robinson Earl, he is just not there yet. I mean, it's only his third game back, I believe, since he got back from his injury, and he is just not there. And when Robinson Earl is not knocking down those threes, it's kind of, I mean, if he's not stretching the floor for us, I mean, he hurts us on the defensive end because he's not as physical as we need him to be. That's just not his game. So that was very frustrating. And also, we need Dort to stop taking so many shots. He needs to slow down. So the Thunder are going, and Robinson Earl is struggling at 66-57 with 6 minutes to go. They sub in Robinson Earl for J. Will again. And once again, he's just off. But the question is, do you continue to play him and let him get his legs back under him, get his shot back, or do you stop playing him? I mean, there's a balance there, but like I said, these next 8 games right now, you've lost 1. And if you're going to go 6 out of the next 8, or 5-3, or win the next 5 out of your last 7, 5 of the next 7, which you've got the Kings twice and the Jazz twice and the Lakers in between, and Phoenix. So, I mean, you've got a tough road to hold there for us to be able to do that. And then SGA was just off, missing free throws early. He's got to be able to make free throws, and he does, and shoot 90%. And it's just hard. It's just hard. But he's just got to make shots. My guy Drew Henthorne is saying Robinson Earl should not be on the floor. I'm starting to agree with that, but like I said, you're caught in between. Do you play him or do you not? You're caught. And he played well for us up until his injury, but now he's came back. He's been atrocious from the three. He's not been rebounding. He can't stop anybody. I just don't know what really to do with him, but he's killing us. But anyway, end of the third, you got SGA, Robinson Earl, Trey Mann, Lou Dort, and K. Will in the game. And then, of course, you end the third quarter, which was kind of frustrating for us because we're normally very, very good in the third. We lead the league, the NBA, in point differential. But they had 32, we had 31 in the third quarter because, once again, we're shooting through settling for threes, not doing all the things we need to do. So at the end of the third quarter, the Thunder's still up 9, or up 8 at this point. We're up 9. They outscored us by 1 in the third quarter. So you got that where the Thunder are up 86-78, and then this is when it really gets ugly because you have to start a group in the fourth quarter, which I've said today on my show, The Unpopular Hour. What I worry about is the Thunder in the second and fourth quarters. In the fourth quarter especially, you've got an 8-point lead going in the fourth quarter. And you're starting Josh, Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, K. Will, and Serge. Sark, that's who you're starting. And I'm like, that's not a bad 5. But, of course, Josh was in pure passive mode. I got my notes. Stop passing the ball, Josh. And then Dort out of control. I mean, you got to get him under control. You've got to put that man under control. He just came out today. He thinks he's better. He's not a scorer. It's never been his game. He's been a defensive guy his whole life, and then all of a sudden, the Thunder gave him some leeway to shoot last year. Now all of a sudden, he's going crazy. You got to rein him in, okay? You have to control him or bench him. And then, of course, they did sit him. So at that point, we're playing terrible. Okay, we've only scored 2 points. They've outscored us. What was it? 4-2 at that. Or excuse me, it was 86-7. It was 86-78. So it was 88-82. We're both struggling. They're struggling. We're struggling. And then I've got sub SGA in. It's 88-82 with 8 minutes to go. And I could just feel us. And when you're looking at the end of this third quarter, you see the scoring. Thunder are now 5 for 27 from 3, 39%, 41 rebounds, 50 pips, 7 turnovers, 23 points off the bench. They have 25. They're 9 for 30. But you could just tell by what was going on in the game at that point, we were struggling. Bring him in. Settle us down. But no, he didn't do it. He finally subbed him in, and the score is 93-89 with 6:33 to go. And they bring him in. All of a sudden, you got K. Will, Josh, J. Will, J. Dub, K. Will, and Isaiah Joe. And then here you go again, shooting threes. And then my thing with SGA is he was looking for fouls. And if you were listening to my show the other day when I did a breakdown for the grades for the Thunder, and then also on the Unpopular Hour, I talked about my concern about SGA because he gets so many calls, kind of like James Harden did. Well, in the playoffs, they're not going to give you the calls, and of course, we haven't been in the playoffs, so he doesn't get it. But this is playoff basketball, these next 25 games, and my guy Drew Henthorne of HuskerDrewPicks.com was talking about that today. It's talking about this is playoff basketball. They're not going to call fouls. They're going to make you play because everybody's coming at it. Everybody's coming at you right now. So there's not going to be any calls. It's going to be you've got to be able to finish. So SGA's got to quit looking for fouls. Dude, you've got to finish. And if it's an and one, great if they call. If they don't, we got 2 points. You cannot be looking for calls. You're not going to get them. So he's going to have to change his mindset right there. And I said that he's got to get his mindset for playoffs. But when you're going 15 for 19, he's normally 17 for 19, 18 for 19, and he missed critical free throws tonight. But he did have a couple steals, and every time we'd get out to a lead, they'd come running back. And it's because of the lineups. But the lineups that you have in there, you just can't do it. So anyway, the end of the fourth quarter, it was very frustrating. The end of the fourth quarter. Here is well, I got to put the end of the game because we go ahead. So anyway, it's 106-106. Going to OT, and like I said, Isaiah Joe got his reverse layup blocked. And I'm like, why is he in the game if he's trying to go to the basket? You have a 6-foot guard going against a 7-footer, taking him to the hole, and he's really not. He's a shooter. And Brad, let me explain people right now. The difference between shooter and scorer is really simple. Okay? Shooters are the guys who shoot from the three-point. He shoots 45%. Scorers are guys who can shoot from the three and also take you off the dribble or off the bounce, however you want to look at it. Okay? SGA is a scorer. He is a shooter. So now you give the ball with 4 seconds left to a shooter, and he tries to turn it into a scorer. Once again, play calling at the end of the game, what kind of play do you design? If you're going to have somebody in that situation going against Kessler, it should be J-Dub or Kendrick Williams. But you give it to a small guy with a big guy going on him, and he tries to take him to the basket. Gets a shot block. So now it's 106-106. They are 9-6 in close games, like I said at the beginning of the show. The Thunder, on the other hand, lost our last overtime game to the Pelicans. But once again, you shouldn't have been in that situation. You should not have been in that situation. It was just frustrating. So anyway, we start with our regular starting lineup, which is SGA, Josh, Dort, J. Will, J-Dub. We played the whole time just with that group. That whole time with that group. And we have a 1-point lead with 20 seconds to go. SGA makes a nice pump fake, gets him up, misses the first free throw. So now all of a sudden we're up 2. 3-pointer can kill us. They get the ball. We playing great defense. Our marketing gets the ball, turns around, is going back to the three to shoot a three. Dort should know this, and he throws up a prayer reverse 30-foot fadeaway, and Dort is all over him, and the referee calls a foul. I'm like, once again, Lou Dort, we talked about this at the beginning of the year. Why are you even near a guy trying to shoot the ball like that? Just if you want to go ahead, just stick your hand up. Go. If you make that, bro, go ahead. But once again, your coach is not putting him in his place. The coach should have said that, no, don't foul. First of all, do not foul the three-point shooter. Don't foul the three-point shooter. We're up 2 with 25 seconds left. Do not foul a three-point shooter. Surely, I'm pretty sure they said that in the huddle. Doubt it, but I'm sure they probably did. But anyway, don't foul a three-point shooter. Of course, Marketer makes all 3 of his free throws to put them up 120 to 119. And then SGA comes down and misses a shot that we thought was going to go in, a bank shot from about 13, 14 feet. And that's what ended up happening to the Thunder, and they ended up losing. Just frustrating. Anyway, the Jazz are now 30-31. The Thunder are 28-30, which means that we're probably dropped back to 11th now. The Jazz have probably moved ahead of us after this victory. Once again, like I said the other day, the Thunder, you lose a game to the Pelicans, you cannot lose. These are games that you've got to win. But you're a young team, so you're going to have your coach help you. Your coach cannot hinder you in these situations. Jazz end up being 13 for 48, 42% from the field, 58 rebounds, 56 pips, which we average about 55, giving up about 55, 56 points in the paint a game. We've got to fix that. Sam Presti has to address our points in the paint. We've got to address 2 things that we did not address last year: a shooter and paint protection. 2 things we've got to address this next draft. Now, whether he'll do it or not, I have no idea, because he loves 6'8" to 6'9" guys who are athletic. So I doubt if we'll get it done. Hopefully we will. Thunder are 8 for 37. 8 for 37. 40% from the field, 54 rebounds, 60 pips, 11 turnovers. The Jazz, 25 bench points. The Thunder, 31. And then when you compare, I like to compare the first and second half. You can see right now, the Thunder were the second half. We were 5, what is that? For 19 from 3. 39, 40%. It's not going to get it done. Jazz 5 for 21, so they went 8 for 27, and they win. There's no way a team should go 8 for 27 in a second half and you lose and they win the game. But once again, the Thunder down the stretch didn't get it done. SGA uncharacteristically missing free throws. But when he missed those first couple in the beginning, I was like, oh, he's got one of those. I think, what game was that? He missed some free throws against. It was another road game that we lost, that he was doing the exact same thing, and it cost us down the stretch. And you have the ball in the person's hands that you want it in, and of course, he missed a free throw, but that probably won't happen again. But I look at the Thunder, 5 for 19 from the second half, from 3. You're not a three-point shooting team. We're just not. And why he continues to let them shoot, I have no idea why. Oh, that's right. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's got to step up and coach. Here are the box score for the second half, or for the ball game for the Thunder. And when I'm looking at it, you got to remember, Jay Will played 27 minutes. He had 11 points, 4 for 7, 3 for 4 from 3. He's just been deadly from the three-point line with 6 rebounds. He had 16 the other night. Only had 6 this time. J-Dub, 38 minutes, 4 for 10 with 9 points, 4 for 10, and it killed us. And he won't have that game again. With him not doing what he needs to do to be our third person up there scoring, our fourth person, he's just not going to do it, because Dort's going to be Dort. SGA, 41 minutes, 12 for 26. He needs to be 12 of 21, 14 for 26, 15 for 26. That's what he needs to be. 0 for 2 from 3. We know that's not his thing, and that's something he's going to have to adjust in his game over the spring and summer if he's going to continue his pace, because their team's going to kind of cut him off in the middle. He's going to have to be able to pull up and shoot the mid-range and definitely be able to knock or down some threes. Josh, 38 minutes. And what did I say? And Dort, 36 minutes. So you had your starters, 41 for SGA, 38 for J. Will, 38 for Giddy, and 36 for Dort, and 27 for J. Will. Kendricks Williams played 28 minutes. But anyway, let me get back to that. Josh, 38 minutes, 8 for 23, 0 for 5 for 3, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. Just Mr. Passive. Even though he took 823 shots, it was the kind of shots that he took. He did make a couple nice reverses when the guy on TV is going, "Oh, he contorted his body." I'm like, dude, that's just a reverse. My 12-year-olds can do the same shot. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple. It's really not it's not a difficult shot that you're trying to act like, oh, it's so wonderful. It was very basic. Anyway, Dort, 36 minutes, 11 points, 4 for 14, 0 for 4. Just killed us. He did have 11 rebounds, did have one big rebound, and then, of course, two huge free throws. Sark, 12 minutes, 1 for 3, 0 for 2. And I think my guy Drew Hinthorn may have called that on that. I don't know how well he's really going to serve us, but, it's only a second game, so I'm still not going to say one thing or another when it comes to him. Robinson Earl, 2 points, 1 for 6 from the field, 0 for 3, and my guy Drew Hinthorn said that, guys, you got to keep him off the floor. If he's going to continue to play like this, which is his third game in a row doing this, I don't know how you can play him coming down the stretch. I mean, these games are too important. Kendricks Williams, on the other hand, had a really game. I can't say anything bad about him. He played a really good game tonight, 28 minutes. He was 7 for 10 and 2 for 4. I mean, he played good. I can't say anything about it. 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He played really good tonight. Nice backdoor cut pass to SGA, by the way. Nice move. Trey Mann, 14 minutes, 2 for 7, 1 for 4. He's got to move in to closer to the three-point line. He cannot stand out there and shoot from 40 feet out. And when he does, he's got to go forward. His shots are just. But like I said, Trey is just. I don't know that mentally he's just not with us. And then of course Isaiah Joe, 21 minutes, 2 for 6, 1 for 4 from 3. We've got to have him knocking down threes. I mean, if he's not knocking down threes, he's just too little and he's a liability on the defensive end. So those are things that that's the thing with the coach. If Trey Mann is a better defender, he's more physical than Isaiah Joe. You can't play Isaiah Joe more minutes than Trey Mann if you're not going to. If he's not knocking down 3-point shots, there's just no way you can have him in the game. It's just impossible. You just can't do that because, Trey Mann is a more physical player than he is. I mean, that's what it is, and he just is. So you're going to have to do that and have to have him. You're going to have him play more. So anyway, Thunder, of course, dropped tonight. They're down there now. Thunder are now, what are they? 28 and 30. The Jazz are 30 and 31. The Thunder have dropped another game that they need to win. And like I said, part of the issue I'm going to have with this coach is if we get into playoffs, it's going to be because of him and because of the moves he makes and his decisions. And if we don't get into playoffs, it's because of him, because of the moves he makes and decisions and the place and the minutes and the manner, the way he does things. And my guy Mark Long tagged him 2 minutes too long, and that's what he is. He's a minutes manager that's 2 minutes too long. Now, he doesn't do it every game. But when the game is tight and the game's on the line, he tends to shrink because that's not what he was really pegged to do. And now he's done a great job of developing the players and getting them to the point. But now we're at the point, if you want to make the playoffs, if you want to be successful, you're going to have to get a coach to take us to the next level. He's not it. Now, I have a bunch of people talking about, oh, the Thunder are cheap. You can get a guy who's cheap, who's looking to come up, who will take the coaching job and just go, look, if you do this, incentive late in this contract. We're going to give you a head coaching job. We're going to give you a chance. We're going to pay you this amount of money as a base. And then if you win, we'll give you this. And when you win, we'll give you this. You win, you give him incentive late contract. It's real simple. It's not difficult. You can do it. But he's not going to be able to get us. And he's a very nice guy. But he is not the guy to get us to where we need to go, to the promised land, to go to the playoffs. He's not going to get it done. He's just not. So that being said, I want to remind everybody we're not going to have a show tomorrow on the Unpopular Hour because I am going to Stillwater for the OSU basketball alumni reunion. And so I'm going to go up there with all the guys. We're going to watch the boys practice, and then have drinks with an open bar. That's going to be fun. And then, of course, the game against Kansas State on Saturday. So we're not going to do the Unpopular Hour tomorrow. We're going to come back Monday, and then we're going to do a whole wrap-up of the weekend because there's big, huge games coming up in the Big 12 as far as seeding and stuff like that, because OSU is now 11th, and we may be on the bubble now. And if we lose, if we don't beat Kansas State, we may be out looking at the NIT. So we've got to get this W on Saturday. So that's why I will not do a show tomorrow. We will not do the After the Storm tomorrow night because the Thunder do play tomorrow. We have a game at Phoenix. Kevin Durant is not playing tomorrow, but we will not be doing After the Storm tomorrow. But we will be back Sunday night to do the game for the first game against the Kings on Sunday night, our first home game. So we'll be back doing that game, but we'll be missing tomorrow's show for the Unpopular Hour, and tomorrow night for the After the Storm. We will not be on the air for any one of those shows. So just to kind of give everybody a heads up on that. So that being said, thank you for watching this edition of After the Storm, your OKC Thunder post-game live stream analysis.